At the Indianapolis Speedrome. It's going to be the warm-up for that World Championship 3-hour figure eight that comes every single year, the 41st annual coming up in September. As we get ready for an exciting evening, figure eight action. They've come from all over the Midwest, from Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan represented, and fans in the stands from all over come out to check this one out. This will be a warm-up for the big one, for the big 3-hour. That'll be coming up here in September, but right now, 90 minutes, half the distance to get ready to go here as we get ready to rock and roll. Things are thunderstruck here in Indianapolis. On the west side, they're a little pussyfooting around, got cheese and wine out there.
Woo!
500, but by God,
here you scream!
It's
Come on, get up on your feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking off. The Speedrome, Advanced Auto Sales Pace Truck up there leading the field away. Pole sitter number 7 of Austin Tunney. A new track record in qualifying puts him up front. And the fellow he knocked off that track record spot, beating it by 1/100th of a second, starts right next to him. That's Mark Tunney right next to it. To give you an idea how close those two cars were, Austin set the new record at a 16.247. The old record, or pardon me, 16.237. The old record was Mark Tunney's, and he matched it again with a 16.247. So just 1/100th separating those two. Behind them, you've got Ben Tunney, Austin's brother, Mark's cousin. They got the number 4 of Mike Hadley. You can have the number 20 machine of John Connor Jr., the number 80 of Donnie Murphy, the water boy, coming in on a great run here. You got the number 1 of Jesse Tunney, your 3-time champion. Number 17 to the Big C, Corey Harmon. Jeremy Vanderhoof in the number 6, another shocker there in the surprise. A great qualifying run for the fellow from Michigan. Number 33 of Doug Gregg, multi-champion, 3-hour winner, etc. here at the Speedrome. Ready to rock and roll for 90 minutes. The 3D of Steve Durham, who shocked him out in California a little while back, picking up 2nd place on his first time out there at the big track, but now ready to do it at his hometown show here in the 3D machine. You've got the number 16 of Jeff Harmon, another former fast qualifier here for our 3-hour race, a top competitor looking for a big win tonight. From
Tori,
52, Jeremy Miller is on the track.
Let's get the hands waving. Come on, get your hands, get your hands.
And a car
they want to see it, folks.
For this show. Next to him is going to be the number 21 of Mr. Mike Riddle, come from Greenwood, Indiana, just south of the track here. Grew up here on the Highs Banks at the Anderson Speedway. Made Speedrome his home about 10 years ago and has been one tough customer ever since. Number 38 of Artie Beware. One of the most popular drivers from the Jeffersonville Sportsdrome is with us here tonight. Already a feature winner here in 2017 at the Speedrome against our Saturday night boys who thought they dominated. Darren Greenwell had a great run. Car number 4.
One to go. Here we go. Buckle up. Here you go, folks. This one's about. Watch the fireworks. It's figure eight time.
Of Calvin Crane. The 74, Charlie Hargraves. The 91 of Chad Sizemore. The G4, the 4th generation driver, Donnie Garrigus IV. The 22 of the original, Chris Green. The 12 of Brandon White. The 41 of Casey White. The 10 of Jeff Armour. The 71 of Steve Frost. The 311 of Johnny Hargraves. The 13 of Eddie Rogers. The 81 of Tim Logan. The 32 of Dennis Sloan. Look for the green this time, behind the clock to start. It is a timed event, open pits. And here we go. Watch for the fireworks up to the backstretch, and there we go. Drop of the green, and we're ready to rock and roll. The Circle City Pyrotechnics light up the sky. Down on the track, we're lighting it here. Austin Tunney leads him into turn number 3 of the figure 8. Round of 4 brings with him the Mark Tunney number 3 machine. As things rock and roll already, Dennis Sloan has traffic in the crossover, has to check up. Tough luck for the back marker, but he's going to be back here for doing lap after lap, cranking it in, looking for the paycheck at the end of the night. 7 machine of Tunney there, cranking away some fast laps. They're all doing 18.5-second laps out there at the best, but they're looking strong. Austin Tunney has another one, has to check up. Eddie Rogers in the 13 has nowhere to go. Ditto the 91 of Logue. They're stopping the crossover. Here comes your leader. Traffic already going to come into play here. Mark Tunney takes the lead, charging into turn number 3. Just 2 laps into it and a lead change already, courtesy of the crossover traffic. Mark Tunney now has Ben Tunney in the number 5 right behind him. Austin Tunney in the 7. Then Mike Hadley, the first Tunney not up in the top spots in the number 4 machine. They're going to split between the 10 of Armour and the 22 of Green. Going to bring with the number 20 of Connor, who running in 4th place now, along with the 80, the water boy, still looking good. Whoa, now it's Mark Tunney's turn to check up at the crossover. 4 laps into it, and they are cranking off some speed. 17.6-second lap there for Mark Tunney, even with the little twitch at the crossover. And Dennis Sloan has to take a scramble there at the north end as Mark Tunney in the number 3 T continues to lead. 2nd place is going to be the number 5 of Ben, and everybody crossing, crisscrossing all over. They get through the X, and it is cutting it fine out there right now. This is going to start scrambling. Oh, contact in turn number 4 of the 8. Has Calvin Crane's number C4 machine going around. On with contact. That's punched into the back end of the Chad Sizemore 91. Look at the run from Jenny Hargraves 311. Trying to stay ahead on the lead lap. As he struggles to get out there, everybody pulls away from that contact combat on 4. They keep on rolling. Tunney now down 17 3-second laps. As they have slowed down a bit, we've got a bit of fluid shaping up. For some reason, might be a weeper situation there in turn number 4, or turn number 3, pardon me, of the 8. As we got Ben Tunney now challenging number 5 car Ben Tunney side by side with cousin Mark. They pull up behind the Calvin Crane C4. Crane trying to stay on the lead lap of the C4 machine. At this point, it's important. You don't want to go down too early. Things can get rough, but you'll have a chance to make it up later. Open pits could spell danger here for anybody who has to go in if you time it wrong. 3 machine of Mark Tunney has the lead, battling side by side with Ben Tunney's number 4. Then you got Austin Tunney's number 7, Mike Hadley's number 4 machine, the 20 of Connor. And after that, they are getting just flat out ugly behind him. Donnie Murphy hangs on to his spot in the 80 ride. He's got a battle going on now with the 52 of Miller and the 1 of Jesse Tunney, 33 of Greg right behind him. Crossover action. They're scrambling all over. The 17 of Corey Harmon has to take a half lap. That's going to put him down 1 lap to the leaders now. Corey Harmon out of time, and whoa! All kinds of traffic crossover. Has Ben Tunney up in front now in the number 5 machine. The Tunney yellow, number 5 of Ben Tunney up in front for the Elite Tire Squad. Holy cow, the 40 of Darren Greenwell, the veteran there, tiptoeing through the crossover. Don't know where that room came from, but he can rent it later here. I'm sure he's open. Side by side for your battle for the lead. The 3 machine of Mark Tunney has it across the stripe. Second place held by the 5 of Ben Tunney. The 4 of Hadley is up to third place. 7th of Austin Tunney drops back a bit. 20 of Connor still in the hunt. Then you're going to go all the way back, almost a full straightaway back to the 80 machine of Donnie Murphy as crossover traffic again. This time it's Tim Logue has to take the half lap to stay alive out there. Things are already rough and tumble on the crossover. 12 laps and only an hour and a half still to go on this one. Hour 26 minutes still to go. And already the crossover has been tough. We've got 1 car out. That's Charlie Hargraves at 74 as Artie Ware has to scramble to get across a full pack of cars. Mark Tunney back in front in the number 3 machine. Ben Tunney to 2nd in the 5. Hadley to 3rd in the 4. 7 of Austin Tunney. Then you go back to the Donnie Murphy number 80. No, Steve Durham's number 3. I believe he's taking over a spot from Murphy. He does so. Durham moving up in the 3D machine back in the pack. Now getting up, trying to get around some of the lap traffic. The leader's already been chewing up here and spitting out. Holy cow, the number 21 of Mike Riddle has to split the difference out there. We're only 5 minutes into this one. It's been solid action so far, 14 laps covered. Nobody's able to settle down, no rhythm yet. It's too much traffic, too many hot cars, too many fast cars. As Mark Tunney in the number 3 back in front. Now Hadley to 2nd place in the number 4. Ben Tunney's number 5 is going to do it with his brother Austin's number 7 ride, and that's going to split the difference once again through the crossover. 7 of Austin, the last car on the lead pack there, as we're going to go yellow, 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 and hold up traffic. Hang on for yellow. Look for the appearance of the pace truck here. Had a chance to keep track of it. Here's what we got running for you now. The clock is still going to tick down time. Yes, it is on these yellow flag situations. The clock will only stop on red flags. We're going to make the attempt to pick up the leader and try to keep these guys in their running order. Now, this may come to play here for a couple of these guys. You see a couple of them scrambling to make a couple of late-minute passes after the appearance of the yellow. We'll see how much we're able to straighten it out. But you know what? Sometimes it's almost like pro wrestling. What you can get away with is what you get away with. Stately restart now from your top 2 dogs. Hadley in the 4 and Tunney in the 3T. And they can argue over who was the lead of that last one. Austin Tunney hangs on to 3rd place in his 7 car. Ben Tunney is going to be next in the 5 machine. John Connor Jr. still in the lead lap in the 20. Steve Durham's had a heck of a run now. Has piled himself up there, caught up with the lead pack there in the 3D. We get rid of the music. My apologies on that one. Didn't realize we were still running that one. Durham, then Murphy rolling as well. So on the lead lap cars, here's what I got for you. The lead lap, my apologies for the music there. One-man show up here in the booth sometimes makes it tough. Hadley leads in the number 4. Then you have the 3T of Mark Tunney, the 7 of Austin Tunney, the 5 of Ben Tunney, John Connor Jr. is number 20, the 3D of Steve Durham. Now keep in mind there may be some lap cars and the restart. The 80 of Donnie Murphy, Jesse Tunney's number 1 machine, Doug Gregg's number 33, the Jeremy Vanderhoof number 6, Jeff Harmon's number 16, the 38 of Artie Ware, Mike Riddle's number 21. These cars all still on the lead lap, by the way. Darren Greenwell's number 40 remains on the lead lap. Ditto, Calvin Crane saved by this yellow flag. Donnie Garrigus, the 4th, returns to the arena here. Disappeared for a while. He's now finally back on the track again. Been gone for about 2 minutes. Missed a couple laps in there. Stand by, get ready to go back to green. Get everything cleared away, get ready to go back to green. Already pouring it on the steam. Let's see what happens. We go back to green, and here we go. It's looking pretty mean. The 3 machine of Mark Tunney jumps out to the early lead ahead of Hadley's number 4. Brings Austin Tunney's number 7. The Connor 20, and the 5 of Ben Tunney. Steve Durham is in that lead pack now in the 3D machine and fighting to get back up there with the top dogs. Leaders on the track hitting it. Now remember, the 17 of Corey Harmon out there is already at least 1 lap down, maybe more. I have to double check on the restarts here, but Harmon's already a lap down here to the leader. Saw that half lap scramble early on from him, but you're going to set you up for what we got for a lead pack here. The 3 of Mark Tunney, the 4 of Mike Hadley, the 7 of Austin Tunney, the 5 of Ben Tunney, the 20 of John Connor, then the 3 of Steve Durham, the 80 machine of Donnie Murphy, the 1 of Jesse Tunney, 33 of Doug Gregg still on the lead lap. Jeremy Vanderhoof is still staying in the hunt. Brandon White's number 12 is going to go down on lap here in traffic as he fits with crossover. Problems for Eddie Rogers, number 13 ride. The Indy Recyclers machine has to check up at the crossover, and a quick scramble from the 81 of Tim Logue almost sends him into our pace truck on the backstretch. As your leaders come across the stripe, and now it's time to get down to the rhythm. 24 laps into it, just about 10 laps settled in. A couple guys are trying to develop a rhythm now to the traffic. Armour going down, Jeff Armour's 10 machine going down natural in traffic here, but they're definitely starting to sort out, and they want to get settled in. They know they've got a long distance. Guys who've run these long distance races before, some of these longtime veterans like Mark Tunney, Ben Tunney, and the like that have won these things, know you got to get the rhythm now. You don't want to sit there and be scrambling and be nothing but elbows and elbow grease here all throughout the opening stages, or you're too wore out to get this run going late in this game. Look for this one to go down to the wire once again. The past couple of years here on these long distance races, we've seen a lead pack take off by themselves, traffic in the crossover, scramble, 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 and getting through is going to be Hadley. Holy cow, Durham gets the worst end of that deal. Durham needs to get going the right direction. He's crossways to the rest of the traffic. Here they come scrambling around, and we stay green for the moment. Durham there still under control, has the option to get started and roll again. He creeps, he crawls, he pops, he bangs, and Durham's going to go down a lap. Steve Durham, just like that, lickety split, almost quit. He stalls, he's struggling, got going. I don't know if he was hoping for a yellow or something. Durham not going to get the flags. He goes down a lap, and he's not going to have to start way back in the pack as well. Durham getting the worst end of that little scramble deal at the crossover. And what's it done to my leaders? It set up the 3 machine of Mark Tunney back in front. Major damage on the passenger side of the 5 of Ben Tunney. Oh, the 21 of Riddle has scrambled, and we've had a major problem now with the Darren Greenwell 40 machine. Massively breakdown on the left rear, and we're going to have to go yellow, yellow, yellow. See what we're going to pick up here. Whoa, it's the 21 Riddle again has to scramble. Heads up in the Darren Greenwell pit. He's going to need some help on this one. Oh man, Greenwell trying to get broke 3, trying to get out there to get to the pit area. Now remember, open pit, open pit. Heads up in the pit area. We're going to have open pit lanes out there. Get out of the way. Darren Greenwell desperately needing to get back to the pits, and it looks like he's going to need the wrecker. Greenwell in the number 40 came into this with high hopes, but looks like he's going to have nothing left but bathtub soap on this one because it is looking bad. Durham trying to get back into the game. He's going to be down a lap now, and we'll try to set up who we got on the lead lap because that's what's important in these early stages. Keep track of who all we got in the lead lap, and I've still got 11 cars on the lead lap, 12 cars on the lead lap. Last one on the lead lap, in my reckoning, the 21 of Riddle. We got Hadley in the lead, up in the number 4, the 20 of Connor, the 3T of Mark Tunney, the 80 of Donnie Murphy, the Waterboy doing great here with the top 5 runs so far. Ben Tunney's dropped down a bit, number 5 machine, then the 7 of Austin Tunney, Jesse Tunney, Doug Gregg's number 33, the Jeremy Vanderhoof number 6, Artie Ware's number 38 is still on the lead lap. Ditto, the C4 of Calvin Crane, and Mike Riddle's number 31 staying on the lead lap. So for the Kentuckiana drivers, still in the hunt are going to be Calvin Crane and Artie Ware, as the Harmon boys have run into problems early on. For the Michiganders, Jeremy Vanderhoof just holding on to a top 10 spot right now, sitting in 9th, 31 laps with the leaders. 31 laps into it, an hour and 18 minutes remaining. Get up to Darren Greenwell, get him hooked up as soon as possible. Now remember, he is still eligible to return here to the track, so vital to get him hooked up and rolling as fast as we can. Big shout out, big thank you to all you folks watching on board the Low Budget TV. LowBudget.tv got you covered here. I hope you got good reception, and I'm sure you're all loving listening to me all day long. I apologize again for the music that was at the opening. Got a little hectic right at the drop of the green, and I lost track of which button was which out here. But I think we got it rolling now. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having fun, as we got plenty to go still here with this 90-minute spring shootout figure 8. Enduro rules apply. That means that cars may return to the track. Cars may return to the track from the pit area. And now we can check out just how, holy cow, he lost the whole thing on that left rear there. I don't think a can of Fix-A-Flat's going to fix that, as Greenwell's forlornly sitting inside, takes that long, slow, it broke look back into the pit area. I do stand corrected. Looks like Corey Harmon is going to stay in the hunt here in the 32 machine. Looks like he may have got back on the lead lap. Nope, he is still down one. There we go. I was waiting for things to recycle. We got a couple of scoring and timing systems going on here simultaneously, and I'm trying to juggle what's going on and what I'm seeing on the screen. For a second, I thought maybe Harmon had got his lap back. No, Corey Harmon, the 17C car, still 1 lap down. Hadley Jr. in the 4, and John Connor Jr. now challenging for the lead in this one. Then behind them, the next row is going to be the 71. He's a couple laps off the pace, Steve Frost. But next on the lead lap, the number 3 car, Mark Tunney. Then you have the Tunney yellow, number 5 of Ben Tunney. 17 of Corey Harmon again is off the lead lap there. He is a lap down. But you are going to have on the lead lap still the number 7 of Austin Tunney, the number 1 of Jesse Tunney, the number 33 of Doug Gregg, the number 80 of Donnie Murphy, number 6 of Jeremy Vanderhoof, the 38 of Artie Ware, the C4 of Calvin Crane. Mike Riddle Jr.'s number 21 still in the lead lap. And that's going to be it. I believe Riddle's going to be the last car on the lead lap at this point. The 21 of Riddle, last car on the lead lap. Frost in the 71 drops out of the leader's way, let them on by. Corey Harmon, the 17C, trying to get a lap back now. He knows he's found down natural. Had to take that half lap in a scramble at the crossover, and that cost him dearly, as the 20 machine, John Connor Jr. up in front. Connor, second generation racer out here, kind of disappeared there for a couple of decades after being a regular. Whoa, up in the air goes the 10 machine of Armour right in front of your leaders. Armour comes back down to the ground and just gently nudges up into the front stretch wall, almost taking out the leaders in the process. Major damage on the Tim Logue 81 ride, and the USA Insulation logo is hurting bad. The crew takes a quick peek on the Armour mobile, and Jeff is moving around inside the cab. But huge scramble, lost power, lost everything on the front end of that car, and Armour just takes a slow ride. The crew is going to check in on him, make sure everything's all right with him. Speedrome crewman going out to check, as the 17C of Corey Harmon is now just in front of the second place. He does not want to see a flag yet. He wants a chance to try to catch up to the 20 of Connor. The 17C of Harmon is trying to get back on the lead lap. He fell down in traffic as Connor brilliantly threw the crossover there, and on a great run is trying to set some distance now. Connor playing the rabbit, trying to get all the cushion he can now on the rest of the field. Second place is held by the 3 machine of Mark Tunney. Third goes to the 7 of Austin Tunney. Fourth is the 5th of Ben Tunney. Then you have the 4 of Mike Hadley still in the hunt. Jesse Tunney's number 1. The water boy Donnie Murphy still in the hunt in the number 80. And here comes the 33 of Doug Gregg, the 6 of Vanderhoof. After that, the 38 of Ware, C4 of Crane, 21 of Riddle. All those cars still on the lead lap. And the one who is fighting hardest right now, the 17th machine of Corey Harmon, trying desperately to get caught up there and back on the lead lap. He's currently just in front of your second place car, Mark Tunney, but he's got a ways to go because, by golly, I'll tell you what, the 20 machine of John Connor Jr. is off to the races. He's spanking that pony, and it's a running hard for him. Checking down back in the pack. Battle shaping up now between the 5 of Ben Tunney as the 74 Charlie Hargraves returns to the track. The 5 of Ben Tunney battling with number 4 of Hadley. Ben Tunney getting a nose up on it, but Hadley's been hanging tough this whole time. Connor continues to lead the way, now battling with the number 3D machine of Steve Durham. Now Durham is down 2 laps at this point. Oh, we got trouble up in turn number 4. Connor gets clear. We got Riddle in the middle of that mess, I do believe. And do we have Corey Harmon has just got his fingers crossed that the leads get crossed up. Looks like it's going to be settled up here, though. There comes the appearance of the yellow once again. We're going to separate these guys, pour a bucket of water on them before they make some ugly babies. But Jeff Harmon in the middle of that hunt in the number 16 ride, along with the 21 of Mike Riddle Jr. Riddle went from being on the lead lap to now tangled up in a major crash and a couple laps off the pace. Bringing out the Happy Hooker squad out here, get these two separated back in. Heartbreak for the Harmon family. They've been struggling here today. Got some good qualifying runs, but now Jeff Harmon tangled up in traffic. Looks like we got another broke car. Also bringing out the hook for the Jeff Harmon number 10 ride. "45 laps and still over an hour left." Trying to keep here's one of the issues that's happening now. Basically, the 3D machine of Duran trying to keep him in his running order. And here's the explanation. We go by the leader's last pass over the start finish line. We then try to get the group to bunch up. These guys, being the racers they are, being competitive, choose and want to cut in, if they can, get an advantage even during the yellow flags. So Durham, being a couple laps off the pace, is fighting to stay up there in his spot, whereas the other guys would like to get around him. See right now, trying to edge up around Mark Tunney now, trying to edge around Durham. We'll call that driving casual. I believe we discovered that in the Star Wars movie, when Chewbacca was instructed to fly casually. And I think Mark Tunney just casually made his way up a bit. Yes, he has, and I look for the officials, see if they move him back. Here's what we got once again. Connor's your leader in the number 20 machine. Mark Tunney's running second in the number 3. Then you got the 7 of Austin Tunney, the 5 of Ben Tunney, the 1 of Jesse Tunney. Now this is the actual order, not the order they're on the track necessarily because of lapped cars. Mike Hadley still on the lead, or Donnie Murphy in the 80 machine, then Mike Hadley still on the lead lap, along with Doug Gregg, Artie Ware, Jeremy Vanderhoof, and Calvin Crane. Calvin Crane in the C4, the last car in the lead lap. Now, those of you who are rules aficionados, you'll see them cutting inside the corner marker tires. That is an allowed move here by the direction of the Speedrome officials, are allowing these drivers to go underneath that one and cut that marker tire and maintain their lap count. Ordinarily, in competition situations, that would not happen. Lawrence Towing's got the 10 machine of armor hooked up, ready to go. Just so they get you taken care of out on the road, or the police impounds all throughout the town of Lawrence. We truly do appreciate Chris Eads and all the folks over at Lawrence Towing being on board with us here in 2017 here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. The Advanced Auto Sales Records got the 16 of Harmon, Jeff Harmon. Heartbreak there for the Harmon squad, as I was really figuring that they were going to be a major player. They could still come into play because check out where Corey Harmon is at. Corey Harmon, that 17 machine, is 1 lap down. In fact, he's the only car that's just, by my reckoning, he's only 1 lap off the pace at this point. Corey Harmon 1 lap down. If he can get that lap back, he comes back into play. Harmon has been fast enough to get that lap back, consistently fast enough. He's been one of the fastest cars here today, and he definitely can drive the wheels off of it. You can see we trying to get things straightened out back behind him there, trying to keep people from squeezing up too much. One of the issues that will happen is you will have competitors who will go ahead and wave the leaders past, and that's always one of the arguments there of restarting on these lineups. 48 laps complete, just shy of an hour remaining in the event. So once again, the lead lap, the 20 of Connor, the 3T of Mark Tunney, the 80 of Murphy, the 7 of Austin Tunney, the 5 of Ben Tunney, the 1 of Jesse Tunney, the 6 of Jeremy Vanderhoof, the 4 of Mike Hadley Jr., the C4 of Calvin Crane, the 33 of Doug Gregg, the 38 of Artie Ware. Show me, I think Artie Ware's actually, yep, Artie Ware's down. He had to come back around the serial. There we go. So 11 cars, Calvin, yep, Artie Ware and Calvin is still on the lead lap. There we go. 11 cars still on the lead lap, 50 laps into this one. Hour and 7 minutes and change remaining. Going to give him the 1 to go signal this time by. If you've ever tried herding cats, you'll understand what it's like trying to get these guys to line up. Everybody's looking for a bit of an edge. Everybody's convinced that they deserve. 91 of Chad Sizemore returning back to duties for the Rainsoft squad. Murphy's going to have a buddy on track, and Chad immediately starts passing cars. We'll see what they're going to do. I don't know if they'll bring Chad back or not, but he picked up. But the drivers were instructed, the drivers meeting, when you come back on the track, you go to the tail. And Chad seemed to think the tail's about halfway up this field here. We would hate to have to black flag a guy for something like that, but if it happens, we may just have to do it later on. We'll see what happens. It's back in the pack. Sometimes just let it ride. Sizemore already a couple laps off the pace, and here we go. Let's see what happens with Corey Harmon's, the 17C machine. Again, he's struggling to get back on the lead lap, but it's not going to happen this time by, I don't think, as Connor in the 20 is taken off like a bat out of you-know-where. Connor pulls the advantage. Here comes Mark Tunney's number 3 machine for second place. Connor there on the run of his life at this point. Great performance. Here comes the 22 of the original Chris Green returns, and Darren Greenwell's got it fixed and back out on the track for the number 40 machine. Greenwell back out after losing that left rear. Greenwell returns to the battle here in the number 40. Connor continues on his merry way here. Leading pack there is basically getting strung out again. We got accident up there at the north end. Jesse Tunney in the middle of it. Jesse Tunney's in big, big trouble there. And I'm trying to check up if it's that who I think it is with him there. Is that the water boy, the 80 machine, also there? I believe so, yes. We've also lost Donnie Murphy, the water boy. Now we got another one piling in late. 3 cars now piled up in the parking lot. Chris Green's joined that little meeting of the minds up there. Oh, Lordy, heartbreak there for the followers of the water boy. Donnie Murphy was looking so strong here, one of his best runs, and he goes out now with contact. And we're going to go yellow once again here. We had all our records falling off already, and we're thinning the herd quickly. 55 laps into it, an hour and 5 minutes change remaining. Now we see the green moving out of the way. Jesse Tunney got back on the track. I'm not sure how much he lost. I'm going to try and check the scoring here as they come back around, but looks like he may have lost at least 1 lap, possibly 2. Bring the Happy Hooker squad out again, try to get Murphy as quick as we can. It's Calvin Crane, the C4, not sure where he's headed. Calvin Crane, the C4, has left the track. Heads up in the pits. Calvin Crane, the C4, has left the track. Crane was still holding on to the lead lap spot, but this could hurt him there. He dives in the pit area. Not sure he's going to have enough time. We slow down the field there, though. They got a lot to do out here on the track as it is, trying to get these guys hooked up and off and clear. So this is making them go 4 wide now, checking up behind the pace truck as we've... All right, we hook up to Donnie Murphy's number 80 ride, get that back over to the water pits, and see if we can get everything back out. Now, check up at the gate, on-track gate, heads up. You got a car coming to you. Holding up the stop sign. They must wait now for the field to come by. Crane there immediately trying to come back out. He will lose a lap, it looks like. They hold him up. There we go. Okay, Crane is coming out in time to stay on the lead lap by my reckoning. Now, that's my unofficial reckoning. He's got to pick up the pace, though. Hurry up, Calvin. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Get on around. Calvin's going to have to try and hurry up and stay on that lead lap. Currently, he still is. The quick dive in the pits there, as all behind him. Everybody's trying to scrub the tires off. Calvin's going to have to work his way through the crossover. Look out. As even at slow speed, as we learned last night in practice, they can crash at the crossover. Crane is able to rejoin the tail end and will stay on the lead lap. Calvin Crane, great pit work on that end for the folks on the Nick's Powder Keg as Calvin Crane staying on the lead lap in the C4. Set you up your lead cars now. The 3T of Mark Tunney back in front, the 20 of John Connor Jr., the 5 of Ben Tunney, the 7 of Austin Tunney, Mike Hadley Jr. is number 4, the 6 of Jeremy Vanderhoof, Doug Gregg in the 33, Artie Ware in the 38, and the C4 of Calvin Crane. 9 cars still in the lead lap. 1 car, 1 lap down. That's the 17C of Corey Harmon. Harmon has been fighting hard, trying to get back on the lead. He's been running with the leaders, but has not been able to get around to get back on the lead lap. He's just one good breakaway, though, from getting back on the lead lap and back into contention. Scoring and timing, keeping tabs both electronically, as you can see through the race monitor, or you see at home coming up through the automatic timing score going there. Also, spotters working on looking for things like half laps. Also, we got the traditional hand scoring going on as well as a check on all the systems. Tommy Ellis, Jeff Thines up on the flag stand, good and green once again, and here we go. Connor jumps out to the early lead. Mark Tunney fighting to stay with him. Jesse Tunney coming along with the 3 of Durham. Remember, Durham's a couple laps off the pace now. 17C of Harmon. 5 of Ben Tunney showing quite a bit of damage there on that passenger side from earlier contact. Field stretches out. 20 of Connor has the advantage now. He's probably been one of the fastest on there. Back on the track, the 13 machine of Eddie Rogers returns to battle. Eddie Rogers back on the track in the 13. Immediately had to check up the crossover. Here comes your leaders, put him down another one. But Rogers is back in the game. Whoa, just high, little contact with the leaders. Mark Tunney down low, battle for the lead. Here they go through 2 of the 8, now to 3 of the 8. Side by Sondheim, and the dance party continues here at the Speedrome in Indianapolis as the 20 machine of John Connor Jr. side by side with the 3T of Mark Tunney. Behind them is the back markers, the 3D machine, no relation of Steve Durham, and the 17C of Corey Harmon. Then you have your 3rd place car, the number 1 of Jesse Tunney, and then the 4 machine. Jesse Tunney off the pace after that last crash. He's down a lap or 2. You're going to have the 4 machine of Mike Hadley running 3rd. Then the 7 of Austin Tunney, Ben Tunney in the 5. Vanderhoof is in the hunt. Doug Gregg is still alive out there. Mark Tunney back up in front in the number 3T. The Connor machine slots back in the 2nd. Now those next 2 cars are lapped off the pace or so. The 3D machine of Steve Durham is 2 laps down. The 17C of Corey Harmon is 1 lap down. Keep in mind, they're trying to get back on the lead lap. Looking for something bad to happen to the leaders, and they're back in the game. 1 hour still to go, though. Plenty of time in this event race. Holy cow. It's going to get tough for the crossover next time by. Look for the checkup here at the crossover. He's going to have traffic. What's Mark Tunney going to do? They start braking, they start cracking around. Look out! Calvin Crane and Corey Harmon and Darren Greenwell, 3 guys from south of the border, have all met up at the crossover. Oh, man, Shevitz. Crane, serious damage on board that guy who's fought so hard to stay on the lead lap. Harmon may be done now with damage on the Big C's machine. Greenwell able to limp away. We go to check now on Calvin Crane as the Nick's Powder Keg special there may have had a problem. We're going to call for some little extra help. We need a quick checkup on the Calvin Crane. Now, he's been through a couple decades of these battles here on the 8, largely on the big Jeffersonville Sportsdrome track. We stay with Crane over there on site there, bring out the officials and the safety crews to bring out and check on Crane. Going to call for the records as well, get things cleared away. Looks like Corey Harmon, after fighting so hard, trying to get back on the lead lap, his night is done. Calvin Crane, great pit work from the pits, getting back in the heat of things, and a massive scramble through traffic with some checking up and some running as the leaders came through. Just set things off. This is going to scramble big time my lead lap cars. Still on the lead lap, it's going to be Mark Tunney in the 3T, the 20 machine of John Connor Jr., the 4 of Mike Hadley. And Calvin Crane is out, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Calvin Crane out of the car. Had us worried there for a bit. Checking over the damage on the C4. And also asking somebody to please answer that phone. It just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. Wowzers. Again, going back to your lead lap cars. Leader's going to be 3T of Mark Tunney, John Connor Jr. in the 20 machine. The 4 of Mike Hadley sits 3rd. The 7 of Austin Tunney 4th. Then you have Jeremy Vanderhoof Artie Ware still holds on to a spot in the lead lap. Doug Gregg and Ben Tunney. Ben Tunney, the last car on the lead lap. Steve Durham in the 3D machine is 2 laps off the pace. Ditto for Jesse Tunney in the 1 machine. Crane and Corey Harmon are both going to be out of contention. 4 laps down is going to be Steve Frost battling with the G4 machine of Donnie Garrigus and the Brandon White number 12. So a couple battles going to be taken on back a couple laps down, but your lead pack cars are getting thinned out real fast. 8 remaining on the lead lap. 8 cars remaining on the lead lap, 69 laps into it. And now we have broke the 1 hour mark, but we broke it hard out here. Again, massive scramble at the crossover has taken Calvin Crane out of contention after a great run, a great crew work out there. A lot of heart from Corey Harmon there, but it won't be enough here to get him in the top spot here for his ride. He's done for the night. Darren Greenwell has now survived his 2nd major incident, lost the left rear early on, and then that crossover accident got clipped in that one as well, but he limps away, able to hang on to it. There's your leaders right up there, up in front, the 3T of Mark Tunney, the 20 John Connor Jr. Hadley in the 4 is 3rd place and still on the lead lap with 70 laps into it. Then after that, the 7 machine of Austin Tunney stays on the lead lap, 70 laps completed. Doug Gregg's 33, Jeremy Vanderhoof's number 6. To give you an idea of the significance of doing the laps in distance race like this, Darren Greenwell is 24 laps down from the leaders. But he's gradually going to start moving up because all the cars he's going to be starting to get around now are no longer on the track. He's going to start putting laps on those guys. So that's what's going to matter. That's the big deal with these distance races. Thank you all for being with us live from Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Speedrome. First annual spring shootout, a 90-minute figure 8 endurance races. We're giving a twist to the traditional 3-hour figure 8 we do every year up here at the World Championships. And now we're going at it with a 90-minute spring shootout, a warm-up under the same rules, same system, same tires. Get these guys ready to roll here for that World Championship coming up later on in the year. We're just a half hour into this run, making 35 minutes into this run. 70 laps completed, 71 laps completed. And we're trying to sort out here the issue here with a couple of the guys not taking their spots, proper starting spots, the leaders kind of bumping ahead. Keep in mind, when they go to the restart, we want the leaders in their order. They would cross the finish line, which may include some lapped cars stuck in the middle of it. You can see the track official out there dancing around, actually trying to get guys to swap some positions. There we go. Doug Gregg, one of the fellas that's creeped up a little bit. It happens sometimes as you're scrubbing tires off. And if nothing else, if you're a racer, you're always out for the advantage. Lapped cars mixed in with your leaders include the number 13 of Eddie Rogers, several laps off the pace. In fact, he's nowhere near the top spots. And of course, the number 3 machine of Durham, though, Durham 2 laps off the pace, has been running laps with the leaders, just had some bad luck. He's going to have to work hard to make up his laps, though, even with still 55 minutes left to go in this one. The show has been a John Connor, Mark Tunney run here lately. Hadley's led some laps. Austin Tunney's led some laps. Ben Tunney's led some laps. 1 to go being given to the field. Here we go round and round. Will it go round in circles? Rocking and rolling, splishing and splashing over the horizon. What do you see? Looks like it's going to be another race for me as they get ready to build them up here. Officials are clear. Now keep in mind, cars that have fallen out may return. I'm not sure the extent of the damage to the Corey Harmon. See if that team's ready to come out, do some more laps, or what they're going to do with it. Their option to return. Here comes the green, and there we go back at it. Connor in the 20 immediately challenging the 3T machine of Mark Tunney. 3 of Durham hangs right with him. Now here comes Jeremy Vanderhoof now sticking his nose in there. Vanderhoof is not challenged for the lead yet here this evening, but now he's definitely mixing up with the leaders. Getting around the 4 machine of Hadley for position. Brings with the number 7 of Austin Tunney, 33 of Gregg, 38 of Ware, the 5 of Ben Tunney. Those cars all still on the lead lap. After that, in fact, those are the last cars I got on the lead lap. Yes, it is. And those are your lead pack cars up in front. 32 of Dennis Sloan has to check up once again. He's here to get his laps in and be there at the pay window with a complete car at the end of the night. And not doing too bad at all at it, staying out everybody's way. Whoa, look out for action going to turn number 3 is Jesse Tunney. Number 1, split the difference through traffic there. Tangled up with the 74 of Hargraves. Finally gets free again, but it's looking rough there. Tim Logue returns to battle in the number 81. Logue suffering damage in an earlier crash, got a few things hanging. As around goes Jesse Tunney now. Darren Greenwell tips up through the crossover. Jesse Tunney stalled there on the approach to the crossover. Here come your leaders. Jesse Tunney stopped right there. Chugging through there. And Jesse Tunney goes down another lap, but I was getting ready for him to get eat up by the crowd. 20 machine of Connor leads, 3T of Mark Tunney second. You got a back marker, 2 laps off the pace, but run with the leaders, the 3D machine of the Bull, Steve Durham. Then third place, number 4 of Hadley. Battle for fourth has number 6 machine of Vanderhoof up against the 7 of Austin Tunney. In fact, we're gonna have a 3-car battle, making a 4-5-car battle for that 4th spot now. As Austin Tunney works over the back end of Jeremy Vanderhoof. Corey Harmon is back on the track. Harmon has returned, the Big C is back. He's gonna be a couple laps off the pace, but cranking in the laps. So the Big C, Corey Harmon, has returned to represent for the folks south of US 60 out there. Harmon looking good out there. See if he can get the speed back up again for the Kidster. Setting up what happened my battle now. It's still shaping up there. The 7 of Austin Tunney. This is the battle going on for 4th place. The 7 of Austin Tunney has it for the moment, going up against the 6 of Jeremy Vanderhoof, the 5 of Ben Tunney, and the 33 of Doug Gregg. And catching up to that's the 38 of Artie Ware. Artie Ware, the last car on the lead lap by my reckoning. He's been very, very busy out there all evening long, tailing along the back of the pack, but by golly, he stayed on the lead lap here, working up not quite halfway on this one. 51 minutes still remain on the 90 minutes scheduled. Leader is still going to be the number 20 machine of Connor. Nipping at his heels, the 3 machine of Mark Tunney. Hadley in the 4 runs 3rd. Now Austin Tunney's got a little distance here, solidified his spot in 4th. As Vanderhoof's number 6 is just in front of the 5 of Ben Tunney, holding that spot, and they stretched out a little bit, and now guys starting to get in their rhythm. 85 laps completed. 1/3 of the way through this one. They're talking about this being about a 250 lap race. Not sure if we'll be able to get to that length. See what happens when they can settle in their rhythm here. Whoa, crossover action. Chad Sizemore had to scramble that time to get through in his number 91 ride. Same one of Frost still alive as well. And Vanderhoof in the 6 continues his battle. The number 5 of Ben Tunney has not always been very friendly back there, back in the pack. As Tunney in the 5 gets around him, Connor maintains the advantage over in his 20 machine over the 3 of Mark Tunney. Hadley just cannot get caught up with those top 2 dogs. He's got a couple of the pound puppies right between him and the leaders, including the 74 of Hargraves, the 3D of Durham. Whoa, they take him way high, and problems now. Hadley losing contact with in traffic, and now we got a 3-car battle for 3rd place. Head through the south end of the racetrack, through turn 2 of the 8. The 4 machine of Hadley sitting in 3rd, and I lost complete track. Austin Tunney's now into 3rd place. I lost track of him catching through there. So Hadley back to 4th, battling with the 5 machine of Ben Tunney and the 6 of Vanderhoof. So Hadley's been fading slowly back. He could go all the way. The leader's going to be the 20 of Connor still with 89 laps complete, making 90 this time by. Mark Tunney right on his back bumper. 3rd place goes to Austin Tunney's, your track record in the number 7 car. Then you go a couple links back to the 4 machine of Hadley, 5 machine of Ben Tunney, 6 machine of Vanderhoof. Then they've got a bit of a cushion back to the 33 of Gregg and the 38 of Ware. Ware, the last car in the lead lap still, had to hold on to a spot. 90 laps complete. Tim Logue once again daring the crossover in the USA Insulation number 81 ride, but gets the job done, gets it through. The original Chris Green has been back out here doing some good laps out there in the number 22 machine after tangling. Corey Harmon still trying to get some laps. Keep in mind, he's trying to catch up as much as he can. Still got a good possibility to top 10 at this point on a distance race like this, even from way down like he is. Corey Harmon is coming in at this point only 15 laps down, and I say only because I don't think anything could happen here on a distance race on the figure 8. Connor's still up in front. I'm checking into the battle now for third place as the 7 of Austin Tunney, the black number 7 of Austin Tunney, holding on to third. He's got the 4 of Mike Hadley right behind him, and catching up is going to be the 5 of Ben Tunney. They've broke contact now with the 6 of Vanderhoof, who's fallen behind the wayside gradually there as the speed has just been kept up here with these guys. The top dogs are turning 17.1, 7.0 second laps. And that is some fast speeds this late into a figure 8 race out the Speedrome. A lot of speculation on the tires they're on. Some were wondering if they'd be able to get a set of tires to last the distance. And that's what we're just going to start covering real quick here. See what kind of wear and tear we got going on these tires. Another one getting ready to come out and make his way onto the racetrack. Casey White returning in the number 41 machine. White 32 laps off the pace. Rejoining the battle here in the number 41. More problems. Donnie Murphy trying to come back out and play in the number 80 ride. Now Murphy looking so strong there, staying on the lead lap, got tangled up, and he's way down on the running order now. And he's been off the track just too long here. Murphy in the 80 back on the battle though. Again, remember, we can add cars on as they get fixed up and come back out, get their laps in. They come into play here just like anybody else. They got just as much racetrack as next guy. Jesse Tunney going as best he can here, trying to catch me. He's got some laps to make up out there. Battle for the lead to the stripe. Mark Tunney takes the front point away from Connor. Connor coming right back, dives down low. They bang doors, and then going to be a single door handle left. Whoa, we dropping rivets all over. Darren Greenwell again! How did he make that through there? Cars come down on Darren Greenwell, but he made it through. The 20 of Connor back in front. Mark Tunney right on his back bumper. More scrambling in the crossover as traffic continues to stay heavy in the crossover. 99 coming to 100 laps this time by, and not quite halfway. Holy cow, Tim Logue that time crossing through it. Sets you up with the leaders now with 100 laps into it. The 100 lap mark, the 20 of John Connor Jr. continue to lead the way. The 3 of Mark Tunney, then the 7 of Austin Tunney. Oh, at crossover takes up, collects Corey Harmon in his second crossover crash of the night. And we're gonna go in and check on that. Somebody unleashed a whole box full of gremlins on the Corey Harmon squad. And we're gonna try and pick everybody up and get the leader back again. Connor showing it being up in front. And this is gonna bunch things up on what's been a fascinating battle behind those top 2 dogs. Now all night long, we've seen John Connor Jr. in the 20 and Mark Tunney in the 3 being able to peel away and get away from the rest of the crew. Behind them, it has been a dogfight. Austin Tunney has broke his way up to third place and was by himself. Mike Hadley, though, had his hands full, had Ben Tunney right on his back bumper, Jeremy Vanderhoof, and Artie Ware still in the hunt as well. Now, 21 of Mike Riddle returns to the battle. He's another fellow that got taken out in some traffic collisions out there, but he's another old veteran there, been through these wars on the high banks, the low banks, and he knows how it goes here. He's been with us a couple times on these 3 hours. Big shout out, big thanks. Hey, thanks for being on board with us here online or here at the racetrack. Don't forget, check us out, hashtag Speedrome, speedrome.com, at Speedrome on Twitter. And always our friends here with lowbudget.tv. Lowbudget.tv got the coverage for you. Racing events all over the nation here from the folks at Low Budget. We thank them very much for being on board with us here at the Speedrome here in Indianapolis. There's going to be some action out on the west side here tomorrow, but tonight the action is here on the east side. The 3 machine. 3 machine of Mark Tunney, the 20 of John Connor Jr. have been battling out the last couple of laps. Coming back into the battle. 81 of Logue and the 74 of Hargraves back out again for more fun. Tim Logue has actually been able to stay in the top 20 simply on survival points at this point. Try to set you up with what I got for a leaderboard now. All on the lead lap there. Everybody back to Artie Ware. Doug Gregg, I'm showing, is 1 lap down now. Durham 2 laps down in the 3D machine. Jesse Tunney 3 laps down in the 1. Brandon White 6 laps off the pace in the 12. Ditto for Sizemore's number 91 and Steve Frost number 71. I've got Corey Harmon, who's now going to go even further down. Was sitting at 18 laps till his last crash off the pace. Donnie Garrigus the 4th is 20 laps down, making 21 laps down. Darren Greenwell is staying in the top 20. despite being close to every single major accident you could possibly have at the Indianapolis Speedrome on a figure 8 run, Greenwell still only, and I say only, 25 laps off the pace, still in top 20 spot. Logue is 26 laps down. Casey White 33. Calvin Crane continues to fall back in the count. The original Chris Green has been in and out of the pits a couple times and is basically down at least 40 laps here. We'll see what happens with him. He's able to come back out again as we go back to green one more time. Past halfway now, 105 laps into it, and just past halfway. 20 of Connor, 3T of Mark Tunney, 7 of Austin Tunney. They got Chris Green up there with him. Remember, Chris Green 40 laps off the pace, but still basically a fresh car despite the damage. The 3D machine of Durham is in there, but he's off the pace. Hadley's still on the lead lap. Ditto for the 6 machine of Vanderhoof and the 5 of Ben Tunney. And then you go back to the 38 of Ware as they continue to get the laps in here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. 20 of Connor jumps out to the outside, gets the advantage over the 3 machine of Mark Tunney, and continues to hold that advantage all through turn 2. Checking out my battle happening now for 4th place. The 4 machine of Mike Hadley, the 5 machine of Ben Tunney, and the 6 of Jeremy Vanderhoof going at it. Your new track record holder, the 7 of Austin Tunney, just in front. Oh, up onto the cars, and this is going to spell doom here. The 4 machine of Hadley climbing up on the backside of Logue, continues running, but drops him off the lead pack. Going to check for damage now on the 4 machine of Hadley. Action at the crossover has the 7 of Austin Tunney have to check up to avoid getting into the Donnie Murphy 80 ride. Connor and Mark Tunney through the crossover safely. 3rd place Austin Tunney in there as well. The 5 of Ben Tunney. Hadley is still right there with that battle there for 4th place. Hadley in the number 4 car stays in the battle for 4th place. Pulls right up on the back bumper of the 6 of Vanderhoof. So doesn't look like did much damage to Hadley's machine there. We hopped a ride there, getting his own little personal trackside Uber run on the 81 of Logue, but Hadley in the 4 whoop crossover again. As poor Tim Logue is going to need a whole lot of rivets and sheet metal to fix this one up after tonight. Through turn 4 of the 8, coming down for 112 laps, complete the 20 of Connor. Try and put another lap on Donnie Murphy's number 80. He's got the 3T machine of Mark Tunney right behind him. Then a bunch of card links, whoop, tiptoe through the crossover for the 7 of Austin Tunney. And from there you go back to the number 5 machine of Ben Tunney, the 6 of Vanderhoof, the 4 of Hadley, and then the 38 of Ware, the last car on the lead lap. Tiptoe for Mike Riddle's number 21 through the crossover. As it has been an ugly little crossover all night long. Somebody's going to have to put a bow on it just to pretty that one up. A whole lot of lipstick for that pig. Man, oh man, it has not been kind at all there at the X here tonight. 7 of Austin Tunney continues to run for a monster run here for 3rd place. Best known for his qualifying here today and a single figure 8, world figure 8 win, but Austin Tunney is definitely looking strong there, but has not been able to catch up with this John Connor Jr. car throughout the race. Whoa, checkup time there for Mark Tunney as Steve Frost there in front. Mark Tunney, give him a little bit of love and get him on out of the way there. Connor trying to get away, and Mark Tunney's not trying to have nothing to do with it. They go around the 91 of Chad Sizemore, put him down yet another lap. Mark Tunney now losing contact with Connor, dives down the inside of Sizemore, now sets his sights up, action at the crossover. Connor through though in the number 20, maintaining that lead and pulling out the advantage, trying to get another 2-3 car advantage. Whoa, it's 38 of Artie Ware, look out! Mark Tunney, where did he go on that one? As once again, Tim Logue, Mr. Excitement out here at the Speedrome, stopping hearts. I'll tell you what, he's stopping hearts and losing parts out there in the 81 ride. They continue to let him run around with the hole back into the car, shaking and jaking. And man, oh man, Tim Logue is going to be held together with nothing more than duct tape and dreams. The 7 of Austin Tunney for 3rd place, been caught by the 5 of Ben Tunney. The brothers go at it back there in the pack. Then you're going to go back, here comes the 6 of Vanderhoof battling with the 4 of Hadley. So a big 4-car battle shaping up for 3rd place. 7 of Austin Tunney has it. Ben Tunney in the 5 wants it. 5th place is going to be 6 of Vanderhoof trying to hold off the 4 of Hadley. And then Artie Ware's 38 machine has lost contact with the leaders, struggling to stay on the lead lap. 119, make it 120. Laps completed. 39 minutes remain. 39 minutes remain. Mark Tunney is gradually falling behind the 20 machine of John Connor Jr. Now we've seen today that's no guarantee of anything here in this run, as the 6th machine of Vanderhoof now is off by himself for a little bit. We've lost Greenwell's number 40 again. Donnie Murphy's number 80 pulls to the backstretch. He's going to try and head to the pits. No, he's going to try and get back out on the track. 74 of Hargraves is sitting dead on the water. Poor Darren Greenwell, they'll just parked on the backstretch, can't go anywhere. As Lowe continues to loop around, check in what's happening with my leaders. The 20 of Connor still has it through the crossover, no problem. 7-3 of Mark Tunney holds on to his 2nd place. Artie Ware has gone down a lap now to your leaders. The 7 of Austin Tunney hangs on to 3rd place just in front of the 5 of Ben Tunney. And then you're going to have Hadley there losing contact with those guys. And after that, the 6 of Vanderhoof. And that's the last car on the lead lap now, the 6 of Jeremy Vanderhoof. And there's... So things are staying hectic out there. 37 minutes remain, 125 laps into it. But now the guys are able to get into the rhythm. The traffic's been thinned out. They pretty much know who can run where, who can run what. And as long as everything holds together, this is where you get your rhythm and this is where you get the laps done. Coming back out, the 91 of Chad Sizemore returning to the battle right in front of your leaders. Sizemore has continued to come back out here. Despite being laps down, he's going to try and stay in the hunt. He's only 9 laps off the pace I see by my board. So actually not doing too bad for Sizemore. He's just barely outside the top 10. We're looking at 12th place right now, 13th place at the moment. Leader 20 of Connor has now been caught by the 3 of Mark Tunney. Mark Tunney trying to catch up to him. Mark Tunney now gets to the inside, took a peek, couldn't quite get her done that time by. Now looking back in the pack, the battle for 3rd has the 7 of Austin Tunney as the 4 of Hadley gets underneath. Battle for 3rd now gets heavy duty, and Hadley takes over 3rd place in the number 4 machine. Ben Tunney by himself, trying to get through there, and then Jeremy Vanderhoof, I'm trying to see what's happened with Jeremy. And did Jeremy finally get swallowed up? He did so. Jeremy now finally has gone a lap to your leaders. Jeremy Vanderhoof down a lap to the leaders. The G4 machine, Donnie Garrigus, the 4th, returns to battle. As the 20 of Connor continue to lead the 3T of Mark Tunney. Mark Tunney has not been content to leave Connor up there. He knows he's got to set a good pace, a strong pace, to keep up in front of the rest of the pack. Get all these cars laps that he can. Only cars remaining on the lead lap at this point. Connor Jr. in the 20 machine, Mark Tunney in the 3T, Mike Hadley in the 4, Austin Tunney in the 7, and Ben Tunney in the 5. So far, only one non-Tunney in the top 5 and on the lead lap. Family tradition continuing here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Tunney family, Hadley family. The Vanderhoofs, the Millers, the Harmons, and around goes Brandon White in the number 12. Another one of the new kids on the block out there, and he stalls it just on the inside of turn 3 of the 8. 20 machine of Connor now is able to pull away once again, putting another lap on the 38 of Ware. Ware's been slowing down here lately. We're going to leave the, nope, we finally do go yellow to fetch the 12 car out of that position. Speedrome tradition, you get yourself in, you get yourself out. But it looks like there's just enough of Brandon White sticking into the lane here. We're going to head and stop and pull him into position here. Connor had built himself up a bit of cushion, but that's going to disappear now. Check out what's happening with Austin Tunney's number 7 and the 5 of Ben Tunney. Look for them to try to pass a few here on the appearance of the yellow. And yep, they start tiptoeing through traffic now. We'll see what they're going to do with them. And here's the word on the Brandon White 12. They are calling for the hook on the Brandon White machine. Got the bumper up into the tire. Got that wedged up pretty good. And so they're going to call the hook out to get him off the racetrack. Big shout out. Thank you for being with us here. Still 34 minutes remaining in this figure 8. 133 laps covered so far. Lead lap cars are whittling down now. We've lost Austin Tunney now off the lead lap cars in the number 7 machine. Lead lap cars now, Mark Tunney in the number 3T leads the way. John Connor in the 20 machine, Mike Hadley in the 4, and Ben Tunney in the 5. Those are the only cars remaining on the lead lap. Austin Tunney down 1, as is Jeremy Vanderhoof. Austin Tunney in the 7, Vanderhoof in the 6 machine. Down 2 laps is going to be Artie Ware and Doug Gregg. Down 3 laps, Steve Durham. And then after that, you got everybody else pretty well far off the pace. Chad Sizemore staying in the top 10. 10th place for Sizemore, 9 laps off the pace. Austin Tunney returns to the track. He's lost at least 1 lap, maybe 2. Looks like he's going to come in just 1 lap down. Yes, he is just 1 lap down for Austin Tunney. So the cars that are 1 lap off the pace, the 6th machine of Jeremy Vanderhoof and the 7th machine of Austin Tunney. Going to send the pace car truck off the track. Quick pit stop, but still cost Austin Tunney a lap, and now it's gamble time for those guys up in front. There was speculation. Can these tires go 90 minutes, about 200 some odd laps on one set of tires? Is it going to happen? Fuel mileage may not be or should not be a problem for most of these guys. We've seen already with our 3R figure 8, they can manage with the bigger fuel cells, and the fuel cell cage is keeping them safe. We always keep our fingers crossed on that one. But the tires are the question mark now. Will they hold up? Major tire controversy kicked off this weekend here, settled by the track owner Kevin Garrigus reaching his own pocket to settle the bill and buy tires for a whole bunch of guys who felt they got shafted on the tire truck. So by golly, the track owner reaching in there, reaching in for his own cash to make sure these guys get their level playing field, get the best chance they got. And now it's coming down here to this with 32 minutes remaining in the run. Connor in the 20 machine, Mark Tunney in the 3T. Sloan back out there. The 12 of Brandon White returns. Had to bring out that last yellow. Hadley in the 4 and Ben Tunney in the 5. Still on the lead lap. Stand clear in the pit road. Still more cars moving around as Connor back up in front of the number 20 machine. Back in the pack, checking in my battle for 3rd place. The 4 of Hadley has it. He's got a 3-4 car cushion now between him and the 5 of Ben Tunney. So Hadley's got some breathing room now. Try to catch up to these leaders, but the leaders have clear sailing. Traffic is thinned out. Not a whole lot happening at the crossover to check them up. And the crossover give the crossover take of the way in figure 8 racing. Whoa, check out, where's Mark Tunney going there? Looking at the back bumper. A couple of jabs at him, a couple of looks at him. I'm not sure if Mark Tunney may be thinking he's got enough to get around whenever he needs to and just settle in and run a pace here behind Connor. Let Connor be the pathfinder and Mark will just pick up the pieces. Vanderhoof slow on the backstretch. Vanderhoof super slow on the backstretch. Heartbreak here for the kid from Michigan. Goes down another lap, tiptoes. I'm not sure where he's headed. He's going to try to make the pits. Snaps it on around on a quick check. And Vanderhoof, I believe, may just have a flat left front tire. Yes, he does. And we may be seeing the tire situation now come to play. Vanderhoof, flat left front tire, goes off the track for a change. This could be something to keep an eye on our leaders. Now, once again, these guys were gambling. Some of the guys out there had the funky stuff. Track allows them. Soften the tires up, do what you want to do. We don't care. Just don't do something stupid out at the track itself. What you do in your garage is none of our business. But that may take some life away. That could be the kiss of death. If the guy sat there and did something wrong on that planning on that end of it, he could have just taken away a couple extra laps there off the tires. He may have added laps. We don't know. They don't know. And that's what we're up against right now. The 20 of Connor, the 3T of Mark Tunney are gambling these tires going to hold. Now, Mike Hadley in the 4 machine has got clear sailing to catch up to those lead pack. Side by side, here we go to the stripe. Mark Tunney has the lead there coming across the line. High side of the racetrack maintains the advantage. Side by side with Connor again through the crossover. They head to the north end and Mark Tunney up in front. Consolidates the move and now stretches out the advantage over the Connor mobile. Hadley in the 4 for his 3rd place there. Has got clear sailing, crossover. Look out, Tim Logue once again comes into play as a pick. And Tim Logue has been a factor in just about everything out here. As around goes the G4 of Garrigus. Vanderhoof returns. Vanderhoof has returned the number 6 machine. Ditto, Artie Ware returns the number 38. So they are back in the game again for Ware and Vanderhoof. Some of the out-of-towners there coming in here. They're looking very good at the early stages, but then things went wrong on the mid-range. 28 minutes to remain in this run here, 147 laps into it, and Mark Tunney now is off to the races. Puts another lap on the Doug Gregg 33 machine. That slows him down just enough to let Connor get back in the game as they slot underneath the 21 of Riddle. But it's still Mark Tunney with the advantage out there. Third place, Hadley in the number 4 has got the Ben Tunney number 5s gradually reeling him in. Ben Tunney trying to get another podium finish out of this one. Reeling in number 4 of Hadley. 20 of Connor has been able to stay with Mark Tunney. Mark Tunney getting stymied by a tough pass there, trying to get around the 91 machine of Chad Sizemore. But now, once again, Mark Tunney's got clear track up in front. Looking back in the pack, that battle for third is going to shape up now. Here comes your battle for third. Going through turns 3 and 4 of the 8. The 4 machine of Hadley has third. Ben Tunney wants the spot, pulls up on him. They got Austin Tunney in play as a pick. But Austin Tunney, track record holder, may still have enough speed. He's going to be tough to get around. Hadley's going to have to try to set up a slot around him. Mark Tunney with the advantage, tiptoes just in front of the 22 machine of Green. Whoa, through the crossover is the G4 Donnie Garrigus, and now that battle for third is nose to tail. The 4 machine of Hadley has it, and Ben Tunney right behind him. They swish their way through traffic to go around the Logue 81, and it's going to be Ben Tunney getting trapped now with the 33 of Gregg and the Logue 81. Hadley able to get out ahead. This whole time, Mark Tunney's been pulling about a car length a lap now with an advantage. Got a full 1.2 second advantage over the 20 of Connor. And Mark Tunney has been hitting the laps now. 17 1-second laps, no problem for him whatsoever. Now you may say, hey, that's no big deal. He qualified almost a second faster. These are race speeds on a track now that is slicked down with oil, on tires that are getting tired, so to speak. And that is one of the things we're gambling on. Watching the tires on these cars. Will they hold up? Dennis O, another one of his patented half laps there up at the north end. Tried to warn him. He needs to do him down the south end where the scoring stripe's at. As Mark Tunney continuing to stretch it out. Ben Tunney's caught back up again for that. Renew the battle now for third place with the Mike Hadley number 4 machine. Battle damage, Ben Tunney takes the elite tire number 5 right up on the back bumper of the Hadley mobile. Hadley checks up. Whoa, they got Chris Green right there, comes into play. Austin Tunney's back into play again on this mess as traffic gets tight in front of that battle for third place. Still no problem for Mark Tunney up in front, stretching out the advantage over the 20 of Connor. The battle's for third place between the red number 4 of Mike Hadley and the yellow number 5 of Ben Tunney. Those who have not been able to really catch up to each other, they haven't been able to make up much ground on the leaders, but they've had a fun little battle for third place on their own back there, back in the pack. 25 minutes remaining in this run. They're up to 159. Whoa, G4 of Donnie Garrigus, the junior, tiptoes to the crossover. Connor makes a great run, maintaining speed, maintains position, and it's going to be a chance for Mark Tunney. Has a little traffic here coming up in just a sec. Connor able to reel him in a little bit. Hadley continues to hold on to the advantage for that third place. Here comes Ben once again. He's going to have Riddle blocking the high side. Slots up right behind the Hadley 4 machine. Traffic sorts itself out. Now, here's what's going to happen, though. Mark Tunney's got decision time coming up this next lap or two. He's going to have a pack of cars right in front of him as Artie Ware returns number 38. Whoopsie, it's Vanderhoof that time in play in the 6 machine. Artie Ware has returned to the track 26 laps down, but still looking at a chance at a good top 10 finish here if he can start counting some more laps in. Artie Ware is still looking at a chance of getting in the top 10 on this run. Vanderhoof, 8 laps off the pace, is still sitting about 7th on the track, 8th on the track. Battle for third place is where it's at now. Nothing happening with the leaders. They go through turn, but your battle for third has just gone through. Turn 4 comes to the stripe once again. The 4 of Hadley holds on to it. Ben Tunney pulls up right behind him. 24 minutes still remain. What was that with Chris Green through the crossover that time by? Not sure how he made it. I don't think he knows either. As your leaders continue to skate through here, big advantage now, about a 10-15 car lead now for the Mark Tunney number 3 machine. And then a good advantage on the 20 machine of Connor for second. Then after that, the red 4 of Hadley has to check up for Chris Green. And that opens up an attack from the number 5 of Ben Tunney, right on his back bumper yet again. That has been the toughest battle here for the last 15 minutes, has been the Hadley versus Ben Tunney fight. Going on now, swinging up to the north end of the racetrack. Taking a quick peek, make sure my leaders are doing okay. And yep, another lap down for the 91 of Sizemore as Riddle's number 21 is slow through the crossover, slow through the south end, creeping his way. Riddle could come into play here to bunch up traffic. Riddle slowly, barely able to make it off of 1 and 2, sets himself up for run to the pits. No, Riddle stays out in the number 21. I thought Mike Riddle, the white and green number 21, is going to come into play here. Whatever just happened fixed itself on its own. I guess somebody might have made the right call to AAA or something. Leader is still the Mark Tunney number 3 machine over the 20 of Connor, and the battle for third continues. The 4 machine of Hadley against the 5 of Ben Tunney. Running 4 laps down, Doug Gregg and Steve Durham. Check to see where they're at on the track. Those two are actually running against each other for position. And at this point, Gregg has the advantage over Durham. Yep, Gregg has the advantage over Durham, and really no contact between those two. So there's nothing happening with that one. Trying to keep tabs on some of the other battles going on. Now Ben Tunney has finally gotten around. As I looked at that one, Ben Tunney finally got around Hadley to take over 3rd place. Ben Tunney up to 3rd place now, but they've lost a lot of ground to the leaders. Connor is now 2.5 seconds behind the leader, Mark Tunney. And the marksman on his way to win the inaugural spring shootout now. 22 minutes remain, and 171 laps completed already. Mark Tunney picking up to 17.224, but slowing to 17.444 the next time round. So they have slowed down quite a bit. Track getting slicker. Drivers and cars both getting more tired. And this could be interesting now. That battle for 3rd is catching up to John Connor, sitting in 2nd. Connor's been slowing down a tick or two every single lap, and Connor continuing to fall back on the interim now, down to 2.9 seconds behind the leaders. And that's putting him within the grasp of the 5 of Ben Tunney and the 4 of Mike Hadley. So the leader, Mark Tunney, is going to continue to set his pace up in front with 21 minutes remaining. But it's going to be the battle for 3rd now that's going to turn into a battle for 2nd here very shortly. Run you down here. What's happening with my top 10? Mark Tunney continues to lead the way. John Connor to 2nd place, Ben Tunney to 3rd, and Mike Hadley for 4th. Those cars on the lead lap. 5th place currently held by Austin Tunney, 1 lap off the pace in the number 7 machine. And then 5 laps down, Mike, and 4 laps down, Doug Gregg's number 33. Also 4 laps down, the Steve Durham number 3D machine. Jeremy Vanderhoof is now 8 laps off the pace. Chad Sizemore 12 laps down in 9th. And then Brandon White holds on to 10th place now, despite being 14 laps off the pace. And that's the nature of these long distance races, these survival races, these enduro races. Even if you're not on the track, we have seen it happen. Top finishes by guys who weren't on the track at the start. Top finishes by guys who weren't on the track at the finish. Getting out there, cranking up the laps is what it's all about. Your 10th place car, 14 laps off the pace. 20 minutes remaining in this run. As the excitement continues here at Indianapolis, and that battle for 2nd place is now going to be pretty hard here. The 20 machine of John Connor Jr. has been caught by the 5 of Ben Tunney. 5 Ben Tunney pulls up on the back bumper. Here comes Mike Hadley in the 4. Now remember, that 7 car is 1 lap down. That 7 car of Austin Tunney is 1 lap down. But we got the battle now for 2nd shaping up. Mark Tunney by himself, a full turn advantage now, full straightaway and then some advantage for Mark Tunney. It's going to turn into a half lap advantage here real quick, because your battle for 2nd place just got ugly. The 5 car of Ben Tunney pulls up on the back bumper at John Connor Jr.'s number 20 ride. Tiptoe for Doug Gregg through the crossover. Just in front of that battle, as Connor, I don't know if Connor realizes that Ben Tunney is right behind him. Gregg again has to check up. He's going to come into play even more so this time by. Decision time for Doug Gregg this time by. Here comes the 5 of Ben Tunney around Connor. There's Gregg, and 5 of Ben Tunney has taken over 2nd place now. Connor has lost the spot. He's been slowing down each lap. And Connor has lost second place now to Ben Tunney. Mark Tunney gets clear sailing as Doug Gregg has to check up to number 33, and Ben Tunney now has some clear track to play with. The 20 machine of Connor now getting passed by the 4 of Hadley. Hadley now battling for that spot around for Connor and takes it. Hadley in the number 4 takes over third place. So a couple swaps back in the pack. Mark Tunney still up in front, second to Ben Tunney, then Mike Hadley and John Connor Jr. Keep in mind, Austin Tunney, number 7, is lurking back there, 1 lap off the pace. Almost anything could happen. Still 18 minutes remaining in this one. And we got Tunney Cousins up in front. 33 of Doug Gregg is starting to run into traffic timing problems out there all over the place. Has not been able to get a break on this former world champion out there. Gregg's been taking a limited approach here to racing in 2017, concentrating more on his daughter Kimmy and her efforts out here at the Speedrome. Setting up now in the closing 17 minutes of this run. 186 laps. We're going to get at least 200 in for sure. How much further beyond that is going to be up to these racers. Whoa! Ben Tunney had decision time there at the crossover. As a couple of survivors continue to tiptoe around, Mark Tunney continues to stretch the advantage out over Ben Tunney. Has a 6-second advantage over Ben at this point. That's almost a full half lap, basically, all things considered. And when you look for them guys meeting at the middle, you know that he's going to have the advantage over Ben. Mark Tunney's not going to be happy to settle for that. Still cranking out 17.3-second laps. Still the fastest car on the track. Nobody else really touching him at this point. Ben Tunney, though, this could be interesting. Ben Tunney's been doing 17.2s. I just got to look at some of the tails of the tape here on Ben Tunney's efforts. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to make these up here. He's been clicking away at about 1/10 of a second faster each lap than Mark. But I don't know if it's going to be enough time. Every now and then he loses just a little bit again. Vanderhoof coming to play. A little bit of love from Ben. Vanderhoof gets it collected. Great driving from Jeremy Vanderhoof. As Ben got in a hurry right behind him, Vanderhoof was there to be the receiver. Got a little extra new paint on his bumper. Tiptoe for Hadley through the crossover as the crossover continues to terrorize these drivers. 191 laps into it. Mark Tunney continues to lead this one. He's probably had the best luck through the crossover, the nicest time through there, as a couple of these guys had some major scrambling to do here throughout the night. Ben Tunney trying to catch up in second place in the 5 car. After that, you got the 4 of Hadley, the 20 of Connor, last car on the lead lap. And then 1 lap down continues to be the number 7 of Austin Tunney. And after that, you really have nobody else. Durham having a great run, but still about 5 laps off the pace for Steve Durham over the Doug Gregg machine. So Durham trying to do the best he can to catch up. Durham hanging on to a good spot in that 3D ride. So it looks like it's just not going to come together for him tonight on this one. Look for him, though, to be a factor in the 3-hour. Whoopsie, the 3 machine of Durham there. I tell you what, for Guy, whoa, what happened there? Big problems, turn number 2. As around goes Connor. Here comes everybody scrambling around, round. They survive, they keep rolling. No, Connor's got a major problem. Let's see what's happening. I've seen the fluid coming out. Connor had something blow big time. Yes, it does. Connor heads diving into the pits. We got more contact behind him there. Cars all over. Whoa, into the wet stuff. All kinds of wet stuff. Looking to see if we're going to have to go red on this. We're going to have a major cleanup. We lost Austin Tunney in the middle of that crash as well. Watching the flag, the clock continues to tick off. Laps continue to tick down. And watching for the appearance of the, let's see what happens here. Going to be doing some cleanup here. Going to try to get everybody lined up. Waiting for the word from race control. They're keeping under yellow, meaning the clock continues to tick and lap counts continue to run by here. As we try to pick up the leader, Mark Tunney in the whoopsie. No, we're not going to pick up the leader, Mark Tunney, in the 3. Mark Tunney in the 3T has left the track. Interesting timing situation here. And they do go red to clean things up with Tunney in the pits. This is going to hand the lead back to Ben, who's not been in the pits at all. Hadley's going to climb up to second. Austin Tunney's going to, let's see, Austin Tunney's able to roll again. He's going to continue to be laps down. But the pits are curiouser. Mark Tunney taking advantage of that, immediately dove into the pit area. See if this is going to pay off for him. They brought out the red as we're trying to scramble, trying to find a leader. Didn't have a leader to pick up. And the crew goes out to clean up the mess in turn number 3 of the 8. Clock has stopped. Lap counts have stopped at 14 minutes, 8 seconds remaining on the clock. This is a timed event. Now we will go for a car or two after the end of the clock. Let the guys finish up their last lap once time has run out. But a major cleanup going to happen down there in turn number 3 of the 8. Chance now to take a breather. Chance you folks at home there to pop on over and grab you a cold one or visit the water closet, because it's going to be a few minutes doing the cleanup here. Thank you all for being with us here out of Indianapolis, coming live for folks. We appreciate you being with us here on the stands or out on the internet, as we've having a lot of fun with this one. It's been very, very busy all day long here at the Speedrome. Whole lot of work happening, and it's been an interesting inaugural event for the spring shootout. Weren't sure what was going to happen. Weren't sure what kind of feedback we were going to get from everybody. And see if we get a restart lineup up on the board. Looking to put a restart lineup up on the board as the track cleanup continues there in turn number 4. We do have the access to the pits closed here at this point. Fuel has actually gained out of this, and that's going to be Mark Tunney diving in the pits. May just have made the play of the game here on this one. He's going to come back out at the tail end, if he's able to come back out, tail end of the traffic. But because of the red flag, we'll give him a bit of breathing room there to get the job done. Now getting the restart lineup rolling out there. He's going to lose that 14-second advantage he had over Ben Tunney. We'll get things straightened out here and ready to rock and roll again. 7 machine of Austin Tunney, another fellow that had his share of problems. He's still 2 laps off the pace, but holding on to 5th place. Keep that in mind. 2 laps down, but still 5th place. Connor Jr. is now 3 laps down in the 20 machine after all his problems. Things not going to go well for him. He's back to pit to get that taken care of. Steve Durham is able to make up ground. Now Doug Gregg heading. Curious to see where Doug Gregg's going to head to. And he does. Doug Gregg now dives into the pits. The bull, Steve Durham. Quick check in with the officials. 5 laps off the pace for him, but holding on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spot on the grid so far. Big thanks for everyone being on board with us here, the inaugural 90-minute shootout. In case you didn't hear already, if you want more fun here next week here at the Speedrome will be non-stock cars. No stock cars on the track, no midgets. We're going to go at it, right at it, with monster trucks, the Monster Truck Summer Nationals here at the Speedrome next Saturday and Sunday. And if you're ready for something strange, it's going to be an interesting mix. Of all things Monday, we're going to be out here with rodeos out on the track. The El Jaripeo comes to the Indianapolis Speedrome courtesy of the Zamora events crowd. And we're going to put the mud out here, the fences, and have the bull riders go at it out here at the Speedrome here on Monday. Music, etc. going on. But you might want to freshen up your Spanish for coming out. But look for this place to be packed to the gills, ladies and gentlemen. Huge turnout there for the rodeos here at the Speedrome. Then the monster trucks here Saturday and Sunday next week. And then we're back at
Tori,
it after. Hey, Scott Keen.
Hey, how you doing, Tori? It's 14 minutes to go.
I'll tell you what, it's been a nail-biter here. Mark Tunney in the pits now. Ben's going to inherit the lead with Hadley second.
Wow. If I were down here, I mean, I haven't heard anybody scream in about... What is it, 90 minutes?
Well, you haven't been able to hear because of the cars.
Hey, I have a police officer here. Sir, can you scream, sir? Ah! Oh, Marion County's finest, he just screamed.
I tell you what, I noticed we had a couple of new folks out in the stands here because I see a whole lot of regulars here who's sitting next to them with sore ribs from getting elbowed. Oh, my God. Somewhere out there, this guy who sells Xanax is just making a killing on this stuff, I'll tell you. I think we got Kevin Garrigus himself out there on the track sweeper. Now, this could be a dangerous situation because Kevin Garrigus managed to break this thing 3 times this week and left it stranded out on the track, so we'll see if he's able to keep it rolling this time by. Tell you what, he's one of the hardest working men out track. He and his son Jacob. My hat goes off those guys. I know what it's like to run this place, and they have definitely taken it and kept it rolling. Big shout out goes to the folks, the whole Garrigus family, Jacob and Kevin both there for all they've done how to keep this place together. Trying to clean up the track best we can, and mainly because there seemed to be almost a weeper situation working down low. But as these guys go charging into it, the last thing we need is somebody just trying to gamble a little bit too much and hitting that. So they're trying to get that cleaned up a bit. That mix, hopefully it's nothing but plain water. We've had that argument before with guys adding antifreeze. Not a good idea. Run you down what I've got for the running order at this time. Now, we came into this one with Mark Tunney up in front, the leader. Then Ben Tunney, Mike Hadley. Those are the only 3 cars remaining on the lead lap. After that, you had Austin Tunney 2 laps down, John Connor Jr. 3 laps off the pace, Steve Durham 5 laps off the pace after that. Then Doug Gregg 6 laps down, Jeremy Vanderhoof 8 laps down, ninth place, yes, Chad Sizemore 15 laps down, just ahead in the number 12 of Brandon White. So actually at this point, the 91 of Sizemore and the 12 of White are actually racing for position if everybody's able to make it back out again. Behind that, 26 laps off the pace for the 38 of Artie Ware. Donnie Garrigus was sitting 47 laps down. Tim Lowe got 48 laps down. Chris Green, the original Chris Green, 48 laps down as well. Mike Riddle Jr., 68 laps down. 71 of Steve Frost is 73 laps down. It gets worse, folks. The 77 of Jesse Tunney is now 77 laps behind. Darren Greenwell, after all that grief all night long, is 102 laps off the pace with only 94 complete. Dennis Lone's got 93 in the books. And Corey Harmon is sitting parked with 85 laps on the books. So that gives you an idea where we're at here overall. Trying to get the mess cleaned up and see who it comes to play. Now, this is one of the things we talked about here. One, we've had damage already on the right rear and the passenger side of the Ben Tunney number 5 machine. Does not seem to have damaged him any as he's able to race his way back up to the front spot. However, the tire wear situation has got to be playing a factor now on the 5 of Ben Tunney and the 4 of Mike Hadley Jr. Both those guys have not been in the pits. Both those guys running with their original rubber, trying to go the distance on what they got. They will inherit the lead, have the lead. Now, we're going to see what Mark Tunney's able to do. He may have just had the play of the game here by diving in the pits when he did, just ahead of the appearance of the red flag. Crews had time to change the tires, check everything out, top off the fuel, wipe off the windshield, empty the ashtray, and get him back out in time to come out and run this one all to the wall. So we'll see what happens here. Again, the crew is over there frantically putting down the kitty litter. This break brought to you by Gertie Kitty Cat Litter. Stays crunchy even in milk. And they're trying to get her done now. They're in turn number 3 of the 8. Check us out online. Speedrome.com for all the racing news. See what's happening, results, events, ticket sales. Get your advance sale tickets for the 3-hour figure 8 endurance race. Get your advance sale tickets for the fireworks program July 8th. Get your advance sale tickets for the Monster Truck Show. We'll get you all covered. And if you're sitting at home, hey, if you could take a picture of your screen now from the lowbudget.tv pay-per-view, take a picture of your screen and give us a Speedrome hashtag. We're trying to get an idea of how many folks are out here knowing about us and trying to help get the word spread of what we're doing out here at the Speedrome. We've been working hard at it since 1941. Again, a break in the action here with 14 minutes remaining at the 90-minute figure 8 spring shootout here, 90-minute figure 8 endurance race. Major action in turn number 3 of the 8 has dumped a lot of fluids, very, very slick, sticky fluids all over the track. John Connor Jr. getting the worst end of that after running in the lead for a good chunk of the night. Getting caught up in all kinds of mess, and he's back in the pit area. I'm not sure if they're even working on the car at this point. We try to get everything cleaned up best we can here, make it as best we can for these competitors before they have to head out again. What they got spilled on the track, apparently very yucky and slick, so give us a break as we get that one cleaned up. We thank you all for being with us, whether you're here on site or at home. I know we're running a bit later than we had planned. Original game plan was to have us done here. Well, actually, we're not doing too bad. We started this one about 9 o'clock. It's now 10:38, so we're all right. Red flag just sold our costing us about 8 minutes in addition. We'll get that one covered. So still, game plan is going to get you out of here, done with the racing here by 11. The pits will be open at the end of the racing. Give us a moment or two to settle things down there and make the cars all parked before you head running into the pit area. Keep in mind that when you do go to visit pit area, there'll be a lot of cars moving around. Be a couple of hot cars and maybe a couple of hot tempers. But pits will be open at the end of the event here for you folks to go in and visit with your racers and friends. Please, in this pit area, continue to keep the lanes clear. The pits will continue to be open for the remainder of this race. It's been an exciting day, fun couple of days out here with practice underway. The lowbudget.tv crew has been with us all along. We truly appreciate their coverage here with us. Look forward to more fun with them as time goes by. But started out with practice going on Thursday afternoon. Some of you got to follow what was happening with that, as they had a couple of interviews going out on the interweb, and some fun happening there. And then last night, a night full of racing and then a night full of rain. We had our hopes up things go better than they did, but a night full of racing and a night full of rain seemed to settle things out. Cut off our plan for qualifying on the figure 8 for both the Latrell race and the spring shootout run, and I believe we may have it about good enough to roll here. Reminder for our regular competitors, we're back here with stock car figure 8 and oval action. June 10th, stock car figure 8 oval action. As a triple crown, we make a change. 3 25-lap figure 8 races for the late models, 3 of them. The stockers being the Toby Eads Memorial Race for our good friend Toby Eads with Lawrence Towing. The Thunder Cars, factory front wheel drives, and adult fast carts on the agenda. So again, next time appearance for the stock cars here at the Speedrome, we take a weekend off, and we're back here June 10th for the Jackson Oil and Solvents night at the races here at the Speedrome. We're going to be seeing what happens here at the on-track gate. Now, let's see if they're going to add them before or after the green here. And that becomes somewhat of a factor. And Mark Tunney's going to return in the 3T. He is going to be settled into 3rd place. The 22 of the original Chris Green. The 81 of the survivor, Tim Logue. The 91 of Chad Sizemore returns as well. And the 33 of Doug Gregg. So a couple of our top 10 cars come back out. 33 of Gregg. No reappearance of the 20 machine. No reappearance of the 20 of Connor. Going to need to get the 91 of Chad Sizemore back to the tail, as he was once again creeping up a little bit. Your leader is going to be the 5 machine of Ben Tunney. Second place, the 4 machine of Mike Hadley. 14 minutes remain. Third place and last car in the lead lap, the 3 machine of Mark Tunney. So here we go, setting it up for a 14-minute shootout. Now remember, our opening 14 minutes, we chewed up a good chunk of the field. Had a couple surprises out there, but ready to go back at it. Let's see what happens. Ben Tunney, battle damage, wary, running the original rubber. Mike Hadley has been in the hunt, hot and heavy, all night long, has led laps, run up with the top dogs, got a chance to take back the lead here. And Mark Tunney has been the class of the field. Could not get that new track record, but by golly, he's led the most laps there, a chunk of laps here tonight, and ready to go at it there already. Nipping at the heels, not too far back behind the Hadley mobile, so this could be interesting. Nobody else really going to be in contention. Austin Tunney is going to be 2 laps off the pace. Connor Jr. continues to fall behind. Durham is out there again. Yes, he is the 3D machine. 5 laps down for Durham. 6 laps down for Greg in the 33. Vanderhoof. Looks like we may have lost Vanderhoof for good now in the number 6 ride. He's way off. He's back down 8 laps. Chad Sizemore is going to have a chance to move up here. 15 laps off the pace. Vanderhoof is still out there, so I stand corrected and spotted him that time. 8 laps down for the Jeremy Vanderhoof number 6 ride. All right, Tommy Elsh, your flagman here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Jeff Thines alongside, have control of this field. Ben Tunney, your leader. The G4 of Garrigus is running about 12th place, a bunch of laps off the pace. And here we go, back to green we go. What's gonna happen back in the pack? Mark Tunney's gonna have to weave his way through a whole lot of cars to get caught up. Ben Tunney off to the races. 14 minutes remain in this one, 196 laps in the books, but a few more still to right. As Ben Tunney able to stretch out the advantage over Garrigus, Vanderhoof, and Hadley. Only Hadley in the 4 and the 3T of Mark Tunney still on the lead lap. Ben Tunney stretching it out, continue to stretch it out. This is going to pay off. Ben Tunney's going to try and get a cushion. He's going to play rabbit to this field, try to run as fast and hard as he can. He's woody to wabbit, through the woods he goes, trying to get away from these guys. He needs the advantage. Hadley now has got around the Vanderhoof mobile, has to get around the Garrigus ride to be a challenge. As the Sloan number 32 again for another one of his half laps there, cruises through the infield. Again, Dennis Sloan's game plan is to be there to load up on the trailer and be at the pay window at the end of the night with a full race car. 5 machine of Ben Tunney continue to maintain the advantage and stretched out now. 13 minutes remain. Mark Tunney having trouble getting through the field, doing side by side with the 3D ride of Steve the Bull Durham. As Ben Tunney puts another lap on the 81 of Logue, checking out what's happening. Hadley, no problem. Still cannot get clear of the Garrigus G4 ride to come into play and do anything with Ben Tunney at this point. And Ben Tunney hangs on to the spot. 17.196 for that lap time. Ben Tunney has definitely got the fire burning in all the boilers right now, and he is trying to get as fast. Whoa, across the bow of the 91 of Sizemore, taking a few chances. Mark Tunney finally getting through the pack. Has had to cut his way through. He's about a half lap behind there with 12 minutes remaining. Mark Tunney now has a clear track as Ben Tunney has to check up with the 33 of Greg. Hadley hangs on to second place in number 5. Here comes Mark Tunney though. Mark Tunney, the 3T machine, has Hadley now spotted up in front and working his way up to him. Ben continues to spank the ponies, trying to get as far away as he can. All the breathing room he can get now, 11 and 50 seconds remaining in this one. He's still got a whole bunch of laps to get into the books. Checking on the progress. Ben Tunney with a 3.7 second advantage over Mark Tunney's third place run. He's got a 2 second advantage, 3.6 now with Mark Tunney catching up to the field. Brandon White returns in the number 12 machine. Whoa, tiptoe through the crossover. More excitement for poor Tim Logue. And I tell you what, Tim's going to be seeing his cardiologist at the end of this one because he has had a couple good scares. Ben has to check up for Vanderhoof that time by. Hadley through, but now he's going to have Mark Tunney right on his back bumper, and Mike Hadley, who fought off Mark Tunney all through the mid part of the race now, going to have to fight him off again here, trying to hang on to second place. Ben Tunney, 1.8 second advantage over Hadley and a 2.7 second advantage over Mark Tunney, and that advantage has disappeared. Continue to crank off the laps, just over 10 minutes remaining in this one. This could happen for Ben. Let's see what happens now, coming down the closing 10 minutes. Hadley's got traffic up in front. He's going to follow the G4 of Garrigus around the Logue number 81 ride. Hangs on the spot in front of Mark Tunney. Vanderhoof in the number 6 continues to stick it out there, getting his laps in, 9 laps off the pace. Whoa, Vanderhoof just across the bow of the G4 Garrigus. It's going to be decision time now for everybody. Does Vanderhoof hang it out, or does Vanderhoof give it up? Vanderhoof's going to back off, let these leaders go by. And Mark Tunney now underneath the Mike Hadley machine. Hadley drifts up high. Mark Hadley goes down low. Hadley's going to get the low shot. Mark slingshots up on the high side of him, maintains the advantage and carries the speed all the way into turn 4. Now gets a straightaway behind with 9 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the run. Mark Tunney is on the same straightaway now with Ben Tunney and reeling him in. 2.5 seconds behind. 2.5 seconds the advantage now of Ben over Mark, and I basically have nobody else left on the track run against each other out there. Everybody else is several laps off the pace. So at this point, they're just countdown laps, and my top 3 got it covered. This interval continues to shrink, 1.6 seconds. Shrinks down to 1.0 seconds. He's got a little bit of cushion, the 91 of Sizemore, 9 minutes remain. Ben's gonna have his handfuls to keep Mark back here for that long. Ben in the 5, Mark in the 3. Hadley sitting back there lurking in 3rd place in the number 4 car. Vanderhoof's going to be a pick now. Is he going to swing high and let Ben by, or is he going to be in the way? Now Ben's already used the bumper once on Vanderhoof. Vanderhoof takes a little sideways run, come down the straightaway. Ben slots way down low, takes the advantage, uses it, and now we've got Mark on his back bumper there. A 0.6 second advantage now, and now Mark challenging there for the lead once more time. 8.5 minutes remain in the run here, and Ben is caught up. Logue is into play now in the number 81 as Mark looks to the inside of Ben. Can't quite get it done that time by. Ben's gonna have to slot down again. Ben slams on the door, tries to keep Mark from getting that undershot. Tries to keep him from getting underneath him. Whoa, Ben gets too much high. Mark looks at it, and Ben's going to drift up high there. Mark looking down low. Mark pulls up alongside him, comes to the lead, gets the nose out in front. Ben stays tough going into turn number 3. They go side by side into 3. Ben stays tough with him, right with him. Greg's going to come into play as a moving pick. Mark rockets beyond, and it's Mark Tunney up in front now in the 3T. Ben back to 2nd in the 5 machine, and Hadley can do nothing but watch their back in the pack with 7.5 minutes remaining in this race. 218 laps in, and Mark Tunney is back up in front. In the move of the night, the play of the game, Mark Tunney dove in the pits just in time to get his work done, got everything straightened out, able to come out here, and now is taking control of this race once again with 7 minutes remaining. Mark Tunney now just has to click off the laps and hope for the best. But as we all know in figure 8 racing, nothing is guaranteed until the checkers fall. Ben trying to hang tough out there, reel him in, but Mark just continues to maintain the advantage. Mike Hadley continues to fall behind. He's now 5 1/10 seconds, making 5.2 seconds behind Mark's effort there. Hadley, the only car remaining on the lead lap. So your 3 lead lap cars are now stretched out and counting down the time. And this is what part of the deal with the endurance racing. You don't know how long it's going to be. You only know how long it's going to take. 6.5 minutes remain. 222 laps complete for Mark Tunney, the marksman in the number 3 T machine. Ben Tunney can do nothing but watch and dream of what could have been and hope for something to happen and to his cousin up there up in front. Back in the pack, Austin Tunney continues to hang on to 4th place. 2 laps down. Steve Durham is 5th place, 5 laps off the pace. So nobody else really in contention to challenge your top 3 for positions at this point. Whoa, Mark still has crossover traffic to deal with out there as Mark and the 3-team machine continue to get her done for the T8 race cars. Papa Bruce very proud and watching from the pits, getting ready to try to celebrate one more time with 5 minutes, just a little over 5 minutes remaining in this run. It may be the real deal, it'll happening. G4 of Garrigus, body damage on that one. The 3D of Durham's got a few dents and bruises. Definite major damage on the 81 of Tim Logue, as he has been on the receiving end of just about everything from everybody here tonight, but continues to get out there and crank the laps in. Tim Logue still looking at about a 13th place finish, 14th place finish in the overall running if he just keep on doing the laps, and he's out there doing them. Leader continues to be Mark Tunney, 2nd place Ben Tunney in the 5, and then the 4 machine of Hadley just fallen way off the pace. 5 minutes remain, 5 minutes remain, 5 minutes remain in this event. A whole lot of things that could have been. John Connor Jr. was looking like he was going to be on his way to be one of the top dogs come down to the final minutes. Luck went away from him. Austin Tunney, number 7, set a new track record, was looking strong, but just never got his race legs underneath him. Couldn't pull it off at the end. High hopes for Corey and Jeff Harmon. Not a very good qualifying run, but still, we figured that they were going to be there at the finish. Both are out early with contact. Big dreams for the Artie Ware 38 machine. He continues to crank away the laps, continues to play in the top 10, but that's about all that Artie Ware is going to have to brag about this time by. Things just not going his way on this run. Surprise runs come from guys like Steve Durham, who looked fast on Friday night and was able to come up and still hang on there for a top 5 run here so far tonight on a survival run. Just under 4 minutes remain. We're clicking off the laps now of all the dreams of things that could have been here in this run. Mark Tunney continuing to boulder along in a great family tradition. Mark himself has set the bar very high here for competition at the Indianapolis Speedrome. He's limited himself to just the big races here in 2017, and this big one is a good way to kick off the year, as he's definitely got things dialed in. Played it perfectly, timed it perfectly, ran into the pits just when he needed to be, and now he's just hoping to blast out these last 3 minutes, to get his way to victory lane here one more time. First time here at Speedrome in 2017. Look out! Chris Green across the bow. The original Chris Green in the 22 machine right across the bow of the Mark Tunney 3T ride. For the folks watching at home, Michael Catahenry and everybody, the other Chris Green's sitting there watching on his own screen, wishing he could be part of the fun out here. Mark continuing the advantage. Looking back what's happened to Hadley. Hadley just has not been able to get the ponies going for him since that last restart. Things just start fading. He's now 11.7 seconds behind Mark Tunney. And Hadley, number 4, though, is going to struggle to stay on the lead lap. He's got 2.5 minutes remaining to stay out there. Hadley's going to try and stay on the lead lap as Mark Tunney has found a bit of traffic now to play with. Working around the number 7 machine of Austin Tunney again. Austin Tunney, the 7 car, still holding on to 4th place. He's going to go down another lap here. Looks like Austin's going to finish 4th place, 4 laps off the pace. With 2 minutes remaining, 2 minutes remaining, 2 minutes remaining for Mark Tunney, the marksman there in the number 3 ride. Ben Tunney continues to lurk back there, falling a full straightaway. Back behind the marksman. 5-second advantage for Mark Tunney over Ben Tunney there on the closing runs. Look for the checkered flag to appear just right about the same time as the climb runs out. We'll let the guys get their last little lap in. Getting ready to light things up here at Indianapolis Speedrome. Just 1.5 minutes remaining We started with 90 minutes. We're down to the final 90 seconds now for Mark Tunney in the 3T machine. Take him around, 240 laps in. We were expecting about 250 yellow flags, tied things up a little bit. 1 minute remains, 1 minute remains. A couple laps, tiptoe time for Tunney that time by. He's not gonna bother with catching up with a Mike Hadley number 4 ride. Ben Tunney can't do anything but watch, and it's just gonna be counting on down. 48 seconds, 47 seconds, 46 seconds, time running out. Tunney at this point picking the holes carefully, tiptoeing through things. He's still running at 17.8 second laps, 17.7 second laps. So still a blistering pace out there. At this point though, he's not the fastest. Yes, now he is. He sped it up to 17.3. Artie Ware's been cranking around some 17.4s. Chris Green 17.4s as well. Final 20 seconds on the board. Whoa, Vanderhoof, as we got contact, the original Chris Green hooking up with the Durham number 3 machine. That's going to finally take Durham out for the last few seconds. 9 seconds remain. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Time is up, time is up, time is up. And we're going to go checkers, checkers, checkers. That's it. The fireworks light up the sky here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Mark Tunney picks up the win in the 90-minute figure 8 endurance race. Mark Tunney, your winner. Ben Tunney second. Third place going to Mike Hadley. Austin Tunney fourth. Then you have Steve Durham, Doug Gregg, Jeremy Vanderhoof, Chad Sizemore, Brandon White, and rounding out the top 10, Artie Ware's number 38. The marksman celebrates, burns up some of that Hoosier rubber, and picks up a $10,000 check, courtesy of the folks at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Unofficially, the rest of the rundown here gives some more of the spots here. Donnie Garrigus, the 4th, is going to be unofficially in 11th, followed by the original Chris Green in the 22 car for 12th. 13th unofficially is going to be John Connor Jr. 14th. The Tim Logue survivor there, 59 laps off the pace, but still coming home there for 15th spot. 16th spot unofficially, the 71 is Steve Frost, followed by the number 1 of Jess Tunney, the 32 of Dennis Sloan, Darren Greenwell, and Corey Harmon rounding out some top spots. Rest of them after that just have to lick their wounds and go with it. Celebration out on the track for Mark Tunney. And a big thanks to you folks there at home and here at the racetrack as we celebrate a win with Mark Tunney here, the Royal Purple squad there. He came into this one figuring and knowing he was the guy to beat, that they're going to be gunning for him. He came into this one holding the track record, but he came into this one not knowing what was going to happen. There are a couple guys he didn't really know as well. He didn't know the tire situation. We're letting these guys do things with tires that he's not really used to, but it all pays off in the end. And the marksman, Mark Tunney, there, takes it home there in the inaugural 90-minute spring shootout figure 8.
Wow. Hey, that's 3, I count them 3 T8 cars on the grid. 3. Bruce had his working glasses on tonight, and he sure showed it.
Well, then you got Vanderhoof there, had a good finish as well, for another one for the T8 crew.
Get a quick interview here with Hadley and Benny. Hadley, wow.
Boy, I tell you, that was the first time I actually drove for probably 40 minutes without power steering, and I need to be either a beer or a lot more water, but I'm gonna have to get back to the gym. That was rough. It was a wild race. It's a good tire. They fell off after a while. Honestly, it kind of mixed up when Mark made the pit stop from the previous years, if he was down one lap or just starts at the tail. But goddamn, sorry for that. He was a rocket when he changed his tires. We didn't have nothing for him. But without that power steering, I was just kind of holding on. I was like, man, this thing's taking forever.
Yeah, right on. Hey, Ben, real quick. Wow, what a race.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset. The track official told me Austin and Hadley were the only ones on the lead lap, and Mark pitted under red, and they're supposed to lose a lap, so I let him go. Thinking I won the whole time, and here I am in second. Screwed.
Oh. All right, folks. Hey, it's under place, show or win. Sounds like a horse track. Place, show or win. Here we go. All right, here he is in his Look, actually, like a new race uniform or something, man. Usually you have the Tunney name across, and now you got synthetic oil. A wheel man, buddy. We talked earlier, and now you're here, and look at Dad. He's smiling, and he had his work glasses on earlier. First time I ever seen him wear glasses.
Well, I think he learned a lesson, and he's probably going to smack me for this one, but I think the last race he got something in his eye, had him messed up for about 3 weeks, so I gave him a new pair of safety glasses that he probably needed with all his rubber flying. But, man, I'll tell you what, you know, the last thing I wanted to do was make that pit stop, but I wasn't sure what Ben and Hadley or Austin were going to do, and crew was waving me in, telling me just come on in, get tires. You know, the car was, I'm not one to brag at all, but man, that race car was super fast. And like I said, I mean, I didn't need that caution. The thing was just, I was not in cruise control, but I was trying to take care of everything, and it was still just there when I needed it. And I know Ben's pretty upset and stuff, but he should be, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I was sitting in turn 2, and I was hearing a couple of people. They said that 3 car is fast. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Other than having your daughter on your shoulder, turn around and look at that check. $10,000, brother. Now, I'll tell you what. You can't cash it Sunday or Monday, but that's gonna look awful good in that trailer, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he'd shuff it. I mean, I can't thank him enough for what he gives me and Big B, and thanks, Jesse. You know, Royal Purple, what they put me here. You know, they gave me the car to win this race, and you know, heck of a battle with John Connor. I mean, he's class act. I don't think we touched a couple times, but man, it was just hard racing, and a lot of respect from the other drivers and stuff given to me, and that goes a long way. You know, try to give and return that respect. And thanks again to Kevin Garrigus for putting on this show and making our Speedrome great again. I know that's cliche, but you know, Doug, my dad, brother, sister, Tyler, Nick, I mean, all these guys in the back. My girlfriend's supporting me. She, you know, my little girl here, Kendall, you know, she looks like she's awake. That's a plus. So, you know, like I said, thanks to everyone. You know, and I don't know even what to say.
Well, most people don't understand. Yesterday there was a tire problem, you know, as far as tents coming off. And Kevin, the great guy he is, told all drivers, bring your tires back, and he's going to make them better. I mean, what promoter, what track owner does that?
There isn't one.
Exactly right. Thanks for coming to the Indianapolis Speedrome, the new Speedrome. Thank you, Kevin Garrigus. Awesome, awesome deal. And congratulations to you and Bruce as well, and your girlfriend.
Thank you one all. Got some celebrations and pictures happening down at trackside. A few good people in the stands. The pits will be open up for you to go down and visit. Go down and visit. Please keep in mind that there's a lot of traffic going on in the pit area. Guys loading up cars, guys moving around. A couple hot cars, a couple hot fluids, and a couple hot tempers maybe out there. So be careful back there in the pit area for that. That's going to have the pits open for you to go visit. We thank you all for being with us. On behalf of everybody here at the Indianapolis Speedrome, Tori Stiles had the call tonight. Been an honor and pleasure to be out here playing with you. Look forward to doing it on again. Going to take a week off, though. No stock cars next week. No stock cars, midgets. Nothing. Going to be monster trucks here at the Speedrome Saturday and Sunday night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you all for joining with us this weekend here at the Indianapolis Speedrome. It's our very first trip out here, but it won't be the last. Coming up next here at the Speedrome with Low Budget TV, it'll be the World 3-Hour Figure 8 Endurance Race, and we'll be happy to have you here with us live, back again on lowbudget.tv. For Tommy Mason, Tony Stevens, and Nate Ober, we thank all of you for being here with us at the track or live online here at the Indianapolis Speedrome for the inaugural Spring Shootout 90-minute Figure 8 Endurance Race. Thank you all so very much for your support. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you at the races.